Well, good evening, folks. Welcome back to the farm. Just getting my woolly hat all straightened out here. The last 48 hours for us has been an absolute whirlwind. My goodness. So, Ram obviously got in with the ewes when he shouldn't have before he went to auction. So we're 3 weeks ahead of lambing. We've had an extraordinary amount of ewes come through. Boom, 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 boom. Because it was, of course, the full moon in February where it's got to be 30 below. And that means everybody's just going to drop their babies in the snowbank. Unfortunately, we have taken a few losses as a result of that, and now we're trying to keep the ewes in the barn as much as possible, still feed them, still water them, still do everything we would normally do outside, but inside until the weather starts to smarten up. So my mission here this evening was to get a big, I don't know, would it be 50 gallon water trough, like a rubberized water trough, take it into the barn, fill it up with water, just basically pack buckets of water over to the barn in the back of my truck, and then put a floating de-icer in there just to keep it defrosted. Because, I mean, the water that we put in the buckets for the ewes that are in the pens, they get it, and in about 10 minutes, that water is frozen because it's minus 30 in there. It was minus 36 this morning when I went to work. It's cold. It's cold, cold, cold. Anyways, last year I went to, it must have been I want to say Princess Auto. Anyways, and I found these ones, and I thought, boy, and they were on sale, heck of a price, 1,500 watts, thermostatically controlled, fantastic. I'll take two, and I did take two, and then I shoved them in my little cupboard here for future. And so when I bought it, it was facing this direction, but when I put it on the shelf, it was facing this direction. You see that lovely little label right there in the big starburst? What does it say? For use in metal tanks only. I don't own any, not even one. I don't even own one metal tank. Everything is all like a plastic or rubberized kind of plastic. So these, it's gonna go back in there. But thankfully, I did still have one of these ones, and they work pretty good. If you can keep the floats on them, you can keep that element piece off the bottom. They won't melt too deep into the plastic. So, anyways, the other crazy news is I don't particularly like filling water buckets in the shop. If I'm going to do any kind of water transfer, I generally like to do it outside. So if I spill something, well, it's just on the ground. Who cares? If I spill something in here, I got to clean it up. So I go to my outside tap, which earlier this year I heat traced, and at minus 25, the heat trace was working fantastic. I grabbed the tap and I feel resistance. I was like, oh, maybe minus 36 is the number. Maybe that's the magic number where, the tap stops turning. So I just apply a little bit of pressure, as I typically would. Anyways, just to see if it'll go. If you just a little bit of pressure. And sure enough, it starts to spin, and then just snaps off clean in my hand. And I was like, can this day get better? Yes, it certainly can. It can get better. So we're going to head over to the shop here now, or to the barn here now. We're going to rig up a water trough, a heater. We're going to feed the ewes. We're going to check on the lambs. And we're going to try and do all that before the sun goes down. Actually, before I head over there, I had to make a run to Costco this evening after work to pick up a birthday present for Finn, because her birthday is next weekend. And while I was waiting on a forklift, which is a story for another day, but anyways, the stuff was on the top shelf. While I was looking for this forklift, I come across, and it's too heavy to lift it up, but one of these power cord rails. So we installed these at the fire hall, not this brand, but this basically the same concept, right? And they hang from the ceiling, right by the garage doors. They hang down and you plug the trucks in. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So I seen this and I saw it was 40 feet. So this shop is 42 feet by 42 feet. And I thought, well, you know what? If I strategically position one over by my toolbox over there, and maybe one on this side over here, there will not be a single corner of the shop that I can't reach with an extension cord. Now, when I built the shop, one thing I said was, I hate this, always, you got an extension cord out and you're always 6 inches shy. So I put an outlet every 6 feet all the way around the perimeter of the building, which is probably the smartest thing I could have done at the time. But now that I got these, I'm just going to strategically position it. Those outlets will be good for charging stations and, battery chargers and things like that we typically will use on a day-to-day on a shelf somewhere. But the extension cords, bane of my existence, always having to get them out. Now you've got too much extension cord. You're tripping over it all the time. It's actually a royal pain in the behind to have them strung out all over the place. So to have a reel that's retractable Pull it out, use it, give it a tug, boom, it's neat and it's against the wall. No mess, no tripping hazards. Nobody goes to the hospital. I'm loving it. So this weekend, maybe we'll get to install a couple. I got 2 of them actually. So we'll get them installed and see. Maybe it'll change my life. I think it will, but we're gonna give it a try. Anyways, just checking on the lambs here. So this is Yasmin. She's got 2 here, lambed in a snowbank. One was doing real good. One was not doing real good. You know, give it everything we possibly could, and it made it. Fantastic. Good news story. Awesome. This is, I'm confused. That's Harriet. Both saved. Good news story. This is Yasmin right here, lambed in a snowbank beside the bale feeder, with about 15 minutes of unsupervised time. That's all it took when it was 30 below. One lamb, unfortunately, hypothermic instantly. And we were not able to save one lamb. However, the other one, we got the heat lamp on just as a precaution, and it's up, it's sucking, it's doing quite well. Over here, we've got Duchess. Duchess had triplets, lambed in a snowbank. This was the first one, 28 below. Unfortunately, didn't see 2 of them. Third one survived. So there's a silver lining, but a sad beginning there. Because she lambed, and that was extraordinary, we went out and discovered that Thelma here was also about ready to have lambs. And so she had 3. So she's got triplets. So lambs everywhere. If I was to hazard a guess, where are they at? Irene right here with the tan face, or Rose in behind her, I'd say they're up. I'd say they're on deck. They're up next. Queen, I've always kind of looked at Queen, but she's just kind of a fat old heifer. Except she's not a heifer, but you get my point. Everybody else, anybody's guess at this point. Anybody's guess. We find sometimes with the sheep, they might be low in the belly, they might be bagged up, and they might still be 2 weeks. In other ones, they might seem to bag up that afternoon, and then they just drop them, like I said, in a snowbank. So we're keeping them in the barn for the most part. I'm going to let them out for a little bit right now while I fool around and get my water trough set up, and they can go out. You can tell they want to go out. They can go out and chew on a silage bale for a bit instead of eating all that really expensive square hay bales over there. And they can drink out of the free water trough down there. That'd be much more preferable. Go on, ladies. All right, everybody's fed, watered, bedded down. I got my water trough set up. You can see I've knocked all the ice out of my buckets. I waste not, want not, right? I don't want to pack that water if it's just sitting there clean and frozen in the bottom of a bucket. I'll chuck it in there. The old trough heater can warm it up. And I'm getting gant. I think all this feeding sheep is making me hungry. So I got a little bit of grain left in the bottom of this bucket there. I'm going to bring the other ewes. You can hear them bellowing outside. They know. I'm going to bring them in. And then they can stop up in here for the night. And I'll come back about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'll let you go for now. Hope you have a fantastic evening. See you tomorrow.